Hey franchise listeners and Thunder fans, Madison Morris. I'm here inside Chesapeake Energy Arena where the Houston Rockets just picked up their 16th straight win and the Thunder fell 122 to 112. Things didn't quite go the Thunder's way tonight, but Carmelo Anthony had quite the night, passing Jerry West for the number 20 spot in the NBA's all-time scoring list, picking up 23 points just tonight. Russell Westbrook led the way for the Thunder, picking up 32 points, 4 rebounds, and 7 assists. Steven Adams had 16, and Paul George ended his night with 17 points. Listen here to see what Billy Donovan, Carmelo Anthony, and Paul George had to say about tonight's loss to the Houston Rockets.
I thought in the second half we got spread out a little bit from the three-point line. Offensively, when we did shoot at the basket, I thought we were efficient, but the unfortunate part is we turned the ball over too much, really, for the entire game, both halves. We needed to do a better job of taking care of the basketball. But I thought the difference in the game, to me, was the three-point line and the free throw line. Certainly we didn't get there enough. We probably put them there too many times. And I think that when you give them free throws and the three-point line, both of those things, that's a hard combination to overcome.
Billy, you guys were staying at home pretty much on shooters on the outside during penetration. How difficult is that specifically against Houston to make those judgment calls on if you're guarding the perimeter? Okay, this time I go help, this time I stay at home on someone who's probably really good.
We weren't really trying to stay home on the perimeter at all. I mean, if we were staying home on the perimeter, we wouldn't give up 17 threes. We were really, trying to protect the deep paint. I think what we did is we fouled too much, and putting them to the free throw line. I thought coupled with the fact that when they did get to the teeth of our defense, the ball got sprayed back out. So that's going to happen sometimes, when they're driving the ball. But I thought the fouling hurt us as well. But we weren't just trying to stay home on three-point shooters.
Is there a common thread in the turnovers that you saw? It seemed like early on, like 5 in the first 4 minutes.
Yeah, I think the turnovers came from a good place in a lot of them. And what I mean by that is, they are our guys, Russell, Carmelo, Paul, Raymond, we were trying to post feed our bigs versus their smalls inside at times. And, we didn't do a great job receiving the ball. Maybe some of the passes also were not great. But I think a lot of them came from kind of the right idea, the right thing. I didn't really feel like they were like just careless, crazy passes. It was just more, we were trying to go inside. And again, we have some of those, sure. To start the game, we had, I think, 3 to start the game, and that was not great. But I think a lot of the turnovers came from a place of trying to post the ball. And then I think when we did post the ball, I think at times we got caught, in some double teams where we probably should have kicked the ball out a little bit sooner.
Really, whether it was the rest or not, Carmelo got off to a really good start. Didn't shoot the ball as well or as much in the second half. Did they change anything? Did anything change offensively for him?
No, we tried to go to him on the first possession, and they decided, to come at him a little bit more from the post, to trap him. I thought he got some really, really good looks. He had good bounce today. Certainly with the way he was shooting the basketball, we wanted to try to go to him early there in the second half. And I thought he had some looks there in the third and the fourth. He didn't get a lot of them, but I thought he played well tonight. I thought his effort was very, very good. I thought he was giving great effort, on defense as best he could. And then I think he, certainly shot the ball extremely well in the first half. He really got going offensively.
And then what do you think of what Corey gave you?
He was good. I probably, in that, I think it was in the third quarter, we were coming out of, out of a free throw, and, I called a play that he probably wasn't familiar with, probably put him in a bad spot. But, again, I think his motor, his energy, his activity, was good. He made a couple shots, I thought to help that second unit there in the start of the second quarter. But yeah, hopefully he's getting more and more comfortable. But I was encouraged, just by his energy and the way he played tonight.
Paul, when a team can shoot the ball at the level, sometimes tough to fight the temptation to kind of try to shoot with them and crank as many threes as they are.
No, not necessarily. you just want to find, especially the way they guard. They did a lot of switching. We just wanted to manipulate the mismatch. If it allows us to get open threes, we'll take them. But that wasn't the mindset to try to trade threes with.
Paul, what was the difference in the second half when you and Steven seemed to get a little bit more of a flow and rhythm together? It seemed like in that first half they were really taking away Steven on his roles.
Well, if they was going to switch and put a guard on them, we wanted to use Steve down there, and at least get some indecision, knowing that Steve is a threat in the paint. So that started to work for us.
Paul, when you're guarding the perimeter and one of their guys hits the paint, Harden, Paul, whomever else, and what's your process there when you're guarding a guy on the wing? Like, what are you looking for to see, okay, now I go in and help, or I stay at home on the shooter?
Well, we're supposed to help, regardless of who it is, whoever the low guy is supposed to help, regardless of who's on the perimeter. The ball goes to the paint. The lowest guy got to go over and help.
Don't be afraid.
Carmelo, it seemed like the turnovers, free throw line, and three-point line were the differences. Is that how you saw it as well?
Yeah, I thought earlier, throughout the course of the game, turnovers kind of played a big part of, tonight's loss. Them going to the free throw line, I think in the fourth quarter, they was in the penalty with 8 minutes to go. So that always makes it tough. And then the three-point line, when a team like that is making, threes, it's tough out there because you're always in a scramble situation. But those guys beat us tonight, and we got to accept that and, move on and, learn from it.
How tough is it when you're in that? They have obviously just a ton of shooters around the perimeter, and how tough is it just making that judgment call? Okay, now Harden's penetrating, now I go in and help, versus when you have to actually stay on that guy on the
Now,
line.
regardless of what a team does, we've been successful when we stick to what we do best. When we load up, when we help each other, when we communicate. When we stick into executing our defensive schemes, that's when, we're effective. And, I thought tonight we got away from that a little bit, of getting away from, our defensive schemes and executing defensively at times, and it hurt us.
Is there a reason for that when it happens? Like, is there something that spurs it? Can you actually tell when it's happening?
Well, we'll find out. I mean, when you're in the game, you kind of want to make those adjustments. We'll find out tomorrow morning, watch the film, see what happened, see what we have to be better at, see what we have to do better, and go from there.
His legs feel pretty fresh tonight.
Yeah, I felt great, actually. I felt really good. 3 days helped.
How did it feel passing Jerry West finally on the scoring list for 20th now?
I swear I just found out. Somebody just came and told me while I was sitting down over there. But it's an honor. I don't want to sit here and say that it's not. It's not an honor. It's a blessing to be on that list, top 20. I don't even know what else to say about that. But I wish it would have came with a win tonight. But aside from that, I accept it, and I think I should be proud of kind of making that list. To be 20 in history of this game was something that I've never ever thought of, ever dreamt of. So to be in this situation right now and still have years to go in this league it's definitely a blessing for me.
Well, how important is it to have every player clicking offensively? Paul, Steven started off slowly in the first half. When you're playing a team with Houston who can shoot the three as well as they do.
Well, those guys are definitely a major part of our team's success and what we do and what we're capable of doing. So we want them to be clicking at all times. But some nights it's going to happen like that. Two of us is going, two of us not. One of us is going, two of us not. Like it happens like that. That's not something that we should be worried about or have to worry about. We just make those adjustments and take it on as the game goes.
It seemed like in that start of the third quarter, Paul and Steven started to get into an offensive rhythm. What happened to where the offensive rhythm that you had going in the beginning of the third started to break down when Houston went on that run?
I don't know. That's something we all would have to sit down and watch that tomorrow and really break it down and see kind of what was the breakdowns that we had offensively and defensively.
That will do it here from Oklahoma City, but we will be back here in 2 days for a Thursday night matchup against the Phoenix Suns. And be sure to make plans to be here on Saturday as well, as the Thunder host the San Antonio Spurs. With the end of the regular season approaching, be sure to stay up to date on all Thunder coverage by following us on our social media and staying up to date with thefranchiseok.com.